Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a new Beedrill. And I need to be careful when I'm looking at Beedrill cards. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, I love Beedrill. Beedrill's a cool Pokemon. And I keep looking at Beedrill cards and going, oh my goodness, that's amazing. It's going to see so much play. That's awesome. Now, in my defense, the Beedrills from Great Encounters and Rising Rivals combined for a literally World Championship winning deck. And the Beedrill EX did see a bunch of play, albeit mostly for getting rid of Pokemon tools attached to Garbodor when we just did not have any options for Pokemon tools. It was a very niche use. The one from Evolutions looked amazing. Could do 160 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Never was. The Mega Beedrill with automatic paralysis looked like it was going to be amazing. Never was. The one from Team Up that let you KO both itself and the defending Pokemon looked like it was going to be amazing. Never was. So I understand all of this and I get it, but I still think this Beedrill looks awesome. Shout out to the lovely Antoine Boulet for, shockingly enough, providing our translation. Now looking at the basics here, we got 130 HP. That's what we see on high HP basics like Buzzwole. That is not what we want from Stage 2 Pokemon. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, 130 HP is a little bit embarrassing. We do have Free Retreat. I like Free Retreat. Free Retreat is a lovely handy bonus. When KOs happened, if you need to switch out of paralysis and then retreat or whatever. But yeah, the Free Retreat is very, very nice. Just ignore the appalling HP. Plus, there's a weakness to fire, which is not ideal given the whole welder thing. Welder is awesome, which means lots of fire decks are seeing play right now, and you're weak to fire. This is not a great thing. The good news, however, is that being a grass Pokemon, you can heal lots, which would be awesome. I mean, to be fair, stuff like Life Force Prison Stars are rotating out anyway, but you got 130 HP and a weakness to fire, so yeah. The good news is you do have Turffield Stadium that will let you search out and evolve grass Pokemon. That is actually a really cool thing right now. And if you want to attack with this, we have always got Rillaboom, and we like Rillaboom. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, there is a very good reason to play Beedrill above and beyond the Free Retreat. And it is the ability. And when I tell you the ability, it's going to sound pretty familiar. Let's see if you can all guess where the ability's from. The ability says that during your turn, if this is the only card in your hand, you may play it from your hand to the bench and draw 3 cards. If it is the last card in your hand, you may play it to the bench and draw 3 cards. Can anybody tell me the other Pokemon, and I believe it's only one, do let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong about that had this ability? It was the Greninja GX from the Detective Pikachu mini set. Yeah, that's right. I spend way too much time playing, reading about, and talking about Pokemon cards. I saw the connection anyway. And the thing is, this changes everything. I told you that 130 HP on a Stage 2 wasn't good enough. I think I used the word embarrassing. I could also have said pathetic. But the point is, it's actually fine as a basic. Like, I have no problem with 130 HP on a basic. I have a huge problem with 130 HP on a Stage 2. So play it as a basic. Boom, you're done. Now, what does make me a little bit sad, Caterpie and Metapod, i.e. the other bug line from Generation 1, they do actually have the, what's it called? The ability, Adaptive Evolution, that lets them evolve the turn you play them, so you can evolve straight up into a Stage 2 if that's what you're into. You don't have that option here. But you do have the option of just playing it from your hand to your bench and drawing 3 cards. And I love this. I liked it on Greninja. I like it on this. Because firstly, right, it's draw power. Let's say you've got a Quick Ball in hand, one other Pokemon, and this. Do remember this isn't a basic, so no, you can't actually get it with Quick Ball. Use Quick Ball, search out a basic Pokemon. Oh no! Now I only have this in my hand. Boom, free cards. Your hand consists of one Evolution Incense and no other cards. So search out a Beedrill, play it to the bench. Boom, free cards. And here's the ridiculous thing, and this is what I think makes this from a, oh, that's kind of nice, to a, ooh, that's kind of nice. Free retreat. I love the idea of playing this as a one-of in any deck that is playing cards that can search it out. Because I love having a free retreater on my bench. When I've got the option, I always try having a free retreater. I often at the moment play one copy of Air Balloon in my decks, so I can whack that Air Balloon on something like a Zeb Striker or an Oranguru, so that I can just have a free retreater on my bench. So if my opponent takes a KO, I put it active and I worry about what to promote later. So I can switch out of paralysis and free retreat and then go. But you don't want to play a free retreater just for the sake of it, because that's a little bit silly. So you play this, and you get your free retreater, but you also have a very easily searched card that will let you draw free cards. And that's the other thing to bear in mind. This is an evolution Pokemon. I mean, if you're playing a grass deck, this is an absolute no-brainer. Turffield Stadium. And then any time you have, and I don't care if you're playing a Beedrill deck or not, any time you don't have any cards in your hand, Turffield Stadium, Beedrill, boom. Your opponent reset stamps you to one card, play that one card, and then Turffield Stadium for a Beedrill. Boom, free cards. Bearing in mind, this is a non-GX, non-V Pokemon, so it is yet, and there's been a bunch of these in this set, yet another example of a really good option for Scoop Up Net. Anytime you end up with just a Scoop Up Net in hand, play Scoop Up Net, pick up Beedrill, boom, draw free cards. Maybe you're playing Scoop Up Net anyway for Galarian Zigzagoon or for Mewtwo or Giratina. But that's kind of my point here. You can play this as a one-off. And then it basically means that an Evolution Incense can draw you free cards. A Turffield Stadium can draw you free cards. If it's on the bench, a Scoop Up Net can draw you free cards. It gets kind of ridiculous. The only real downside with Beedrill here is that it takes up a bench space. Like something like Oranguru will take up a bench space, but at least it's got the decency to have an ability that you can use every turn. Same thing with Zeb Striker, Chinchino, etc. Although none of those will draw you free cards. I mean, Zeb Striker will, but you got to discard your entire hand to do so. Having said that, Beedrill only works if you've got 0 cards in hand, so maybe that's not a great counter-argument. My point is, this is so much better for the ability than Greninja was. Because of Scoop Up Net, because of Turffield Stadium, because of the free retreat, and because it's a single prize Pokemon. You play a Greninja down on the bench and your opponent's like, boom, 2 prizes, in your face. They can't do that with Beedrill. I am legitimately in love with this card. If you are ever looking for a 60th card, if you've ever got one space left in your deck, why not? Now, in terms of attack, I actually kind of like the attack as well. 1 grass, 1 colorless energy, 120 damage. Now look, it's not a great attack. But here's where it is good. Let's say you're playing Aurora Energy. Pretty much all the other ones like this are actually rotating out. But if you're playing an Aurora Energy, then... And I do this with Dedenne, incidentally, in decks where I'm playing Rainbow, Aurora Energy, etc. If there's a Dedenne on the bench, and I've got an attachment spare, which happens when you're playing single attachment decks, just whack it on Dedenne, or whack it, in this case, on Beedrill. And then, at some point... If your opponent goes and drops something that's weak to grass, or even just anything that can be KO'd by Beedrill, you then just whack a second energy on as long as one of them is a grass or counts as a grass, and then get the KO and go. I'm not advocating Beedrill as this huge phenomenal attacker, because even as a grass type attacker, you still need a grass energy. I'm saying it's a handy bonus. I'm saying if you're playing Aurora Energy or any kind of energy like that anyway... Why not just whack an energy on Beedrill if you get a spare attachment, and then at some point, second energy, boom, off you go. If you're playing a VMAX deck and you don't want to take a KO with your VMAX, Beedrill's got your back. If your opponent goes and drops a Colossal V out of nowhere, and you're worried it's going to turn into a VMAX, KO it with Beedrill before it gets a chance to turn into a VMAX. That's what's good about this here. I am not advocating that you play it for the attack. I'm just pointing out where the attack can come in. But if you're giving me a Pokemon with free retreat that I can play from my hand to draw free cards, and you can give me a million, that's slight exaggeration, different ways to actually play it or replay it, I love this. I'm giving it 5 Wassies, and that feels over the top, and I don't even care. Any deck where I'm playing Turffield Stadium, I'm playing one of these. Any deck where I'm playing something like Evolution Incense and I can bear the space, one of these. Scoop Up Net, one of these. And maybe I end up cutting it because I don't have the room. But it's a essentially basic Pokemon that I can just stick down and draw cards. That really is good. And I hope I've convinced you why this is so much better than Greninja, because, to be fair, Greninja, it saw a little bit of play, although honestly, most of the play it did actually see was in Mewtwo and Mew decks, and it was actually played for the attack rather than the ability, though of course the ability would still be useful. The attack for 2 energy did 130 and wasn't affected by any attacks on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if your opponent tried to block you with something like an Alolan Ninetales, this would be a nice option to allow Mewtwo to get a one-hit KO. I could be wrong about this. This is one of those where I could be wrong, and I admit straight off the bat I could be wrong. But I really do feel like this is going to see a huge amount of play. Being able to go from, oh, I've drawn an Evolution Incense to, yay, I've refilled my hand, that just seems good. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.